I think you guys need to kind of help me understand something. I spoke recently with a lady who has grown children, a boy and a girl. The girl is married, the boy is not. He just graduated college not too long ago, and he spent the majority of his college years living with her. She was a single parent, and I must say that she did a very good job with her children. But she has an attachment problem, and I think you can guess what that is. She doesn't want the baby boy to leave home. He's already gotten a degree. He's gotten a very good offer out of town that gives him a good living so he can go ahead and start a family of his own, because that's the cycle of life. And she is coming up with every excuse, every tactic that you can think of to make him stay home. She's even faked sick a couple of times, went to the hospital a couple of times over nothing, knowing that nothing was wrong with her, just so she can get his attention. Ladies, this is bad. And I see it with some men, too, that are single parents. The thing is that you are terrified of being by yourself. You can come up with every excuse and say, well, my child doesn't know this, my child doesn't know that. You realize as well as I do that there are some things in life that you just can't tell your child to work their way through. They have to get out into the world and they have to deal with the world. There are some things that have to be learned on the job training, no matter what nobody tells you. And there's some things that you have to go through in order to understand. And I go into that in my testimony video, saying that, no matter how much education you have, no matter how many scriptures you read, unless you go through that situation, that's the only way that you can fully understand it. Check out my video called Why I Walk, my testimony. I mention that as I explain my journey. Well, anyway, this lady was like breaking down all over the place, and I said, honey, what's wrong? So-and-so wants to go all the way to Wisconsin. He wants to go all the way to Milwaukee for this job. But I told him, well, it's too cold up there, and you're not used to this, and you're not used to that, and da-da-da-da-da, and da-da. I mean, every reason for him not to leave home. I said, honey, he's 22 years old. He spent most of his college years in the house with you. And I said, now he's gotten a job. He's supposed to go. Oh, you're not on my side. She gets defensive now. You guys have probably run into that person. See, the thing is this person is so used to having somebody around them all the time. They fail to realize that children grow up and they move on. If animals can get it right, animals from day one teach their children to grow up and be independent. From day one, animals do that. From ants to birds to sharks to lizards, from the time that those children come into the world, they teach them how to do things for themselves. But we're the only form of animal that happens to have attachment problems. You didn't think when that child came into the world that one day they would leave you? That's not the end of the world. There are some women that I know right now, they got the whole family within 2 blocks of them because they don't want to let anybody go. And I talk to some of those members of the family and they be like, you know what? I could have done so-and-so. I could have done so-and-so. But you know how big mama is. You know how auntie is. It would kill her if I leave. Why would it kill her? Did she not think that the moment that you were born that you were going to leave someday? So, in other words, love is going to end once they leave the block? I thought love transcended distance. I don't care who you are. If you're in a position where you receive an opportunity to live a better life, I don't care if you're here or if you're over in Timbuktu. I will wish you well, keep you in our prayers, because guess what? We have technology. We can get on Skype every day. We can get on FaceTime every day. We can Zoom. We can send emails, text, Facebook, all kinds of social media if we want to talk to each other every day. So really, you just want that physical presence there because you're terrified of being by yourself. Here's a novel idea. How about you get out and meet some people? Join some groups, join some clubs, be more active in your church. You got a little bit of extra time. Empty nest syndrome is real, folks. And there's some people that lose their minds behind it. Literally lose their minds. Build a life for yourself. And I hear a lot of people criticizing other people because they're living their lives the best way they could. 9 times out of 10, those people that are criticizing you, they're a little bit jealous because you have the freedom to do something they can't do anymore. So you got to think about the source before you start listening to all this criticism. Besides, if you're grown, you got a mind of your own. You know what you need. You know what you need physically, you know what you need emotionally. And if that's companionship, get it. I'm not saying go out here and be a $2 hoe, but I'm just saying you are a human being. You have need for companionship. You have physical needs and things like that. Now, if you, for spiritual reasons, if you want to go ahead and be celibate, I have nothing against that. I've gone through periods in my life where I feel that I need to focus on other things and be celibate. That's cool. If you're going to make that a lifestyle choice, though, you need to either become a monk or a nun or become a man of the cloth. If you have no intentions of exercising those feelings. But don't let mental issues cloud you and stop you from leaving your life. Now, this lady is overly attached to her child. And I will tell you something. He's probably purposefully applying for jobs just to get away from her. He's stifled. So she should be proud and thankful. And she should look at it like this. You know what? I got a kid that lives in Milwaukee. I'm sick of sitting around here. Let me get myself a plane ticket and get out of the area for a while and get some fresh air and go see my baby. But no, you don't see it like that. You come up with every evil reason in the book why you don't want that person to leave your house. Don't want them to leave the block. Don't want them to leave the county. And these folks will be so miserable. I get so many calls from people that I know, that are associated with people that I know. And they would tell me, they'd be like, you know what, I can't talk to anybody else like this, but you know what, I really want to go to school in Florida and become so-and-so and so. But Big Mama's it's gonna kill her if I leave. Or this woman will turn around and say, you know what, I wanted to work for that newspaper or that magazine because I always was good in writing in school, and I want to go ahead and move to Miami. But you know what, I can't do it because if I do, Mama's going to fall apart or Auntie's going to fall apart. Whoever it is that raised them, they won't be able to make it. And they're miserable. And they brainwash themselves to believe that it's the devil telling them that they're being selfish and the whole 9 yards. They know that situation's unhealthy, and they feel trapped. And this is where the addiction problems come in, because they're trying to escape from their reality. Their reality is not satisfactory. Or the rebellious behavior or the crime. It's a shame. So just accept the cycle of life for what it is. Children are born. They grow up, they learn, they leave, they get families, and they teach their children who are born and grow up and leave. That's the way it's been for thousands of years. Shit ain't gonna change just because you got a problem. Stop holding people back just because you're scared of being by yourself. Go to a meetup. There are lots of good meetups to go to. Think about what your interests are. If you like running or walking, if you like games, if you like music, join some people that are your age. You'd be surprised the number of people who join meetups and different groups and clubs and everything, going through the same thing that you're going through. Get out there and be social. Humans are social creatures, and I don't care what anybody says. They say, well, they don't need anybody. Okay, keep telling yourself that. Be miserable because you're going against natural order. You are. You have trust issues, you have attachment issues, you have abandonment issues. That's why you're going around telling people you don't need anybody. That's why. Because you have those issues and they're unresolved. You've gone through your whole life saying you don't need anybody. And then on top of that, you'll turn around and dog somebody else for getting somebody. That's not healthy. Go seek help. You're going against natural order. You are a human being. Learn who you are as a human being. Embrace that. We're social creatures. That's just the way it is. That's why so much crazy shit went down with the lockdown we had last year. That's why so much shit went crazy, so much crime and everything else, because we're social creatures and we couldn't get out and intermingle. We couldn't get out and relate. That's who we are. And for you to turn around and be so selfish as to deny your child and guilt that person into staying into your life because you don't want to accept natural order, that they're supposed to get up and go build a life for themselves, something's wrong with you. You need some help. So stop doing that. If you say you love them, let them build the life to the best that they can. And if they make mistakes, they make mistakes. Be a source of inspiration to them and a source of comfort. And get a life for yourself.